Good morning and welcome to The Future Is Now. Excited to be in the studio today. Unfortunately, Bishop Crystal could not be with us, but guess what? We have a special guest with us today, none other than Pastor Darius Darling. Pastor, please greet everyone in podcast land.
Good morning, everyone out there in podcast land. It is a pleasure to be with you all this morning. So excited about our conversation this morning.
Absolutely. Now, today, the conversation is education.
Yes, sir. Yes,
music,
sir.
and ministry.
Yeah.
A Darius Darling profile.
I would say those are the three pillars of that profile for sure.
Now, speaking of education, it was education that brought you to the Summit City.
Yes.
You're not a Summit City native.
No, originally born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. A proud Detroiter, but had the opportunity to come down to Indiana Tech to study business administration, sports management. Always loved sports, but I realized that I was a little too short to keep playing basketball in the way that I was playing, and football got a little painful. So I decided that I would shift my perspective and just kind of find ways to still be engaged with sport. So I decided to take on the business administration program at Indiana Tech, studying sports management. So came down in 2010, and I've been here ever since. Fort Wayne won't let me go.
Yes, indeed. It's that type of city. It just kind of grows.
Yeah,
on you.
absolutely.
But
absolutely.
It's a good place.
It is. It has been a great place for me and my family. My wife, we're here now. We have a 1-year-old daughter she'll be one this week.
Yes.
And we're all here and enjoying it and really embracing the community. So it's great.
Now, you hung out at Indiana Tech and got a master's as
I
well.
did. So I started working at the university right after I graduated from it. And then while I was there working, I did get my master's degree. I got my MBA in business administration, my master's in business administration, and then with a concentration in marketing and human resources. So found that to be phenomenal. And now I still engage with the university. I'm the chair or the president of the Alumni Association, as well as an adjunct professor for human resources in the College of Business.
Now, speaking of human resources,
Yes,
you're
sir.
currently working in human resources
Yes, sir.
for
Yes, sir.
Brotherhood Mutual. Tell
Yes.
us about that opportunity.
So it's phenomenal. I love it. We're one of Indiana's best places to work. We were just we just received that award again this year. So that's 16 out of the last 18 years we've been awarded that. And we have over 700 employees serving 68,000 churches across 47 states and D.C. So excited about the reach that we get to have and serving these churches across the country.
And Fort Wayne's the headquarters.
And Fort Wayne's the headquarters, right here in Fort Wayne, doing the work of advancing the kingdom by serving the church and finding ways to come alongside churches to ensure and assure that they have the resources that they need whenever something bad were to happen, or even have the administrative support that they don't necessarily have in their congregation. Pastor Chris, there are a lot of churches where there's a administrator who's voluntold to do many things, and sometimes their specialty may not be payroll. Sometimes their specialty is not employee benefits and 401ks and all of those things. So what we try to do as Brotherhood is come alongside that person, not to take their job, but to lift that burden, make it easier for them to be able to process those things and have the administrative support that they need on the back end, so that the church can flourish and not be in a space where they're in legal trouble or they run into various issues. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what is your specific role at Brotherhood Mutual in HR?
So I have the privilege of being a recruiter. My job is to go out into the community and speak about Brotherhood and bring people to come to know the work that we're doing, and finding those individuals who can come alongside Brotherhood itself to undergird the work. So whether that's in IT, sales, marketing, claims, underwriting, you name it. If it's a part of a business structure, we more than likely have a position at the company that's doing that. And so it's really an honor for me to be able to be, in a way, a spokesperson for the company in our community, to continue to share what's happening and ideally bring people to know Brotherhood, but also bring people into the company with various perspectives, diverse backgrounds, because ultimately Our job is to advance the kingdom, and the kingdom is completely diverse. So we want to make sure that we have a diversity in thought and background and all the things, so that when we come to the table, we're thinking about those ministries that may have those backgrounds and providing a product, if you will, a menu of products that will support those ministries.
You mentioned that Fort Wayne as a community has been good to you and your family.
It has been.
But a part of that goodness is your faith community.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yes. Talk to us about being on the ministerial staff at Zion Tabernacle, leading the music ministry.
Yes. So I've been at New Zion Tabernacle with Bishop Crystal for almost 14 years now.
Wow.
It's kind of wild to me, but I've been there. She originally brought me in because I had the gospel choir when I was a student at Indiana Tech, and we would come in quarterly and just sing at the church, and she would love on us, and the church would feed us and do all the things. It was amazing for college kids to get a home cooked meal every once in a while.
Absolutely.
So then I just started to engage with the church, and I started helping out with the music department at the church, and then I just found a home. My mom came down to visit from Detroit, and she was like, "This is where you attend church?" I said, "Yeah, this is where I go to church." She's like, "Boy, this is beautiful. Just the community here, just the love that's in the room." So I just began to continue to serve and continue to do well. And then Bishop Crystal and I developed our mentor-mentee relationship, and she's taken me under her wing and letting me learn the ministry from her. And it's been phenomenal. The entire ministry team there has been great. It's been a seamless work for me. It's truly an honor to be able to serve at New Zion, for sure.
Now, at New Zion, you're leading the music ministry, but you're also an associate pastor?
Yes. So I serve as associate pastor and a leader of the music department. So I oversee music and fine arts for the church, as well as some operational things, working with technology and marketing and those type of things as well.
Now, earlier you mentioned your mom.
Yeah.
And your mom has went on to be with the Lord.
Yes.
But I want you to talk about the lessons learned from your mom and the rich impact that she had on your life.
Yeah, I will say, now you're trying to make me cry on a Monday morning. Lord help. But Monday, my mom, when I think about my mom, it is from the earliest memory, very important to me. It all sticks out because she was my first choir director.
Wow.
My mom was the choir director for the kids choir back home in Detroit, and you know how that goes. When you're the choir director's child, you're gonna get thrown up there to do stuff. Yes, there's other opportunities for other kids, but you at home, you the choir at home, you the choir in rehearsal, you the choir in the car, you all of those things. And so
you're gonna be the first to learn the part.
you better learn your part. And so I would learn the music and all of those things. And I did my first solo with my godmother and my sister. We sung Who Would Imagine a King from The Preacher's Wife for our Christmas program. And from there, I just kind of
dating yourself.
Yeah, just a little bit, But we sung that song, and that was kind of what started it with my mom. And she always told me, "Son, whatever you do, give God your best."
Yes.
She would always remind me to make sure you sanctify yourself.
Yes.
She would always say, "Son, make sure that you protect your witness and do the things that you need to do in order to bring God glory. Don't embarrass yourself. Yes. Don't embarrass your name, but most importantly, don't embarrass God by the things you do." So it's always been one of the things for me is that if I'm going to do this walk, if I'm going to be serious about ministry, making sure that I'm doing things the way God would have them done. How would God treat his people?
Yes.
How would God care for his people? How would God serve? How would God love unconditionally? So my mom taught me those things early, and then before she made her transition, I believe that she truly made sure that me and all of my siblings, we had our communities. She made sure that I had New Zion Tabernacle and the Fort Wayne community and some other folks. She made sure my sister had her community back home in Detroit. Made sure my brother had community back home in Detroit. So I think she set us up to be able to do life without her while she was living, so that when she did make her transition, we were not it's hard. It's hard every day, but she made it so that we had people around us that would help undergird us in the work.
Now, you talked about the roots of music ministry.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
you have been blessed to take that to another level.
Well, yeah. So it's funny being in this space, in this room, always bring me back to that, because I recorded my first single in this room, this very room where we sit right now. I recorded
that My Soul.
It was His Word Says I Can.
His Word Says I Can.
His Word Says I Can was recorded right here in this room in 2017, and it was a labor of love from you. The Neutral Voice Media Group team would always would know C Stacks. He was Mr. Clarence to me. But he really invested in me in that time, and I was in a very interesting place at that point, but he invested in me and told me, like, hey, let's do it. We can do this. We can make this happen. And so for me, it was about, okay, how do we do it and do it well? My mom told me, don't do nothing half stepping. So you want to make sure that you get it done and do it well. So for me, it was about putting the right people in place, and we were able to record His Word Says I Can, and that won some awards. And then most recently, I did an album called I'll Press On, and that has won 7 awards since its debut in 2023. And so it's been a blessing. Music has definitely been a source of connection and a source of joy for me, for sure.
Talk about the growth between His Word Says I Can and I'll Press On.
There were some things, again, in that time frame. My mom passed away. I had to deal with the accident that claimed the life of my sister, my nephew, and my uncle in South Africa. My dad and my cousin were also in that accident. They lived to tell their story. So there was a lot of things that that transpired during that time. But now, even as I think about it, I think His Word Says I Can was preparing me to be able to press. His Word Says I Can is a song that inspires people to push beyond their circumstances. Ideally, inspiring people that no matter what it looks like, you can. His Word says you can. You're stronger. You're better. You're wiser. You're all the things that you need to be because it's declared in His Word. And when I got to I'll Press On, I had to truly press. I had to press to believe that His Word says I can. It was difficult in that season because my mom had passed, and I dealt with so much loss and dealing with COVID at the same time and dealing with all of that. We recorded that album in 2021 in the midst of COVID still being, what it was.
And it was a live recording.
Yeah, it was a live recording. So we did it here in the Summit City. And we used a church that was large enough so that people could spread out and all the things. But
6 feet apart.
Yeah, so absolutely 6 feet apart. And so it was a blessing, though, to be able to do that. And it was just a lot of things that I learned in that process. I learned a lot about the recording process, but I also learned a lot about people and leadership and dealing with the differences that you have to deal with in order to get something produced in that capacity.
What's next musically for Darius Darling? That was released in 2023. I'll Press On. What's next in terms of a new release? Are you in the studio? I know, God's given you music to write.
Yeah. So over the past year, I've been solely focused on my daughter. I've taken a few engagements, but very little. I wanted to be present. I want to be a present dad.
Absolutely.
I want her to be able to say, my dad was there. Like, my dad passed when I was young, so I don't have many memories with him, and I refuse to be that way with my daughter. My dad was great for everything that I've known, but for my daughter, I want to be there. I want to be a present father, one she can call on and depend on. So in this last year, I didn't want to miss the milestones. But now that she's getting a little bit more, free and independent of herself, she's doing her own things.
And she's ready to record, too.
Yeah, she's ready to record, too. I sit in the studio. I sit at my home office, and I have my keyboard right there, and she'll reach over and start trying to play chords. I'm like, okay, well, let's tweak it a little bit. Even that one, she may not understand, but I'm like, okay, no, press that one. But right now, I'm working on a couple of songs. I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be an album or just kind of a couple of singles.
Sure.
But we're in the process right now of starting some of that work. So we're in the production process of putting some things in place, seeing how it really sounds, playing with songs, playing with sounds, playing with the audio aspects of it. Because I do think that's something that's going to come out soon.
Definitely, and we'll have to have you back
Yeah.
when Bishop Crystal can be in the studio
Yeah,
and
for
talk about music, ministry,
Yeah.
and those new releases when
Mhm.
they're ready to be shared with the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We talked a little bit about your role as a minister, as an associate pastor.
Mhm.
I want you to walk us through the call to preaching ministry.
Interestingly enough, when I was younger, I felt the call. When I was back in Detroit, I reached out to my pastor at the time. I wrote a letter. He was in revival. I wrote a letter and I gave him the letter. And then when he got out of revival, he took me on a car ride. And so we got in the car and he said, "What you wrote me a letter. Talk to me about it." And he was like, "What?" And so he asked me about it. And I'm like, he was like, let's sit on it for a little bit and let's see, let's train, let's do some things. And so a lot of time transpired. Because then it wasn't until I came to college when I really started to activate in the preaching ministry, and so that was Bishop Crystal saw something in me because I was resigned at that point because I'm like, well, it didn't happen then, and it just ain't gonna happen. I'm just gonna serve in music and be done. And Bishop Crystal saw something in me, and she said, "What's going on? Talk to me about these things." And so we talked, and she said, "I really believe that this is what God is calling you to." And so I prayed about it. I'm like, "God, if you telling her, I need you to tell me too."
Yes.
And he did. And so it was in that moment that I accepted that call, and she licensed me, and we've been conjoined at the hip ever since, doing ministry together. She's given me so much opportunity to serve and to preach, but I truly believe it's serving through the delivery of God's word. And so she's given me a lot of opportunities to do that alongside with Pastor Kelly at our church and Pastor George. We have a great ministry team. It's not just me, it's all of us coming together with our various skills and abilities to be able to undergird the ministry. And so it's been a great opportunity for me. I truly believe God continues to show himself through his word as I continue to study and learn more about who he is. And it truly is beautiful to see him in it as well. So, yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody out there in podcast land who may be struggling with discerning the call?
Pray.
Yes.
Pray. Pray, and pray.
Yes.
That has been the source and the resource, because sometimes you pray and you hear that you're called, and then after you accept the call, some people just get up from the altar and just go and start doing.
Right.
When in all actuality, you need to stay on that altar.
Yes.
Because that is where you continue to hear his voice and continue to hear his promptings. So for me, it is pray, seek wise counsel.
Yes.
Talk to your pastor, talk to ministry leaders, trusted voices in the faith that can help you to discern the call, because sometimes the call is not always to preaching ministry.
Yes.
Some people feel like, oh, God called me, I need to go be a pastor.
Right.
Go sit down somewhere for a little bit. We have a lot of pastors, and some of them are not necessarily called to leadership of people, but they may be called to ministry.
Right.
They may be called to men's ministry. They may not be a senior pastor. Right. And so we have to be very careful about how we jump down the I'm called, so I'm going to be a pastor. Sometimes you can be called to be an evangelist. You can be called to be any of the fivefold ministry gifts, right? But you can also be called to a certain demographic. You may be called to be a youth pastor. You may be called to be a youth advisor. You may be called to the praise team.
Yes.
So God is calling you, but you have to stay close to individuals who can help you discern the call.
Right.
Because if you just take it upon yourself, you can oftentimes be led astray. Because Bishop Crystal talks about this all the time. the Holy Spirit ain't the only spirit in the spirit
Yes.
realm.
That's it.
So you have to
It's
be
wise
mindful.
teaching.
You have to be mindful of what's God's voice versus what's the enemy's voice, and what's ancillary voices out there that are trying to get you to do various things because you are not, because they recognize that if you listen truly to the Holy Spirit's voice, you're going to be a threat to the kingdom of darkness.
Wow.
So there are various voices out there who are trying to pull you away and make you think that you're on to something when you're really not, because then you're no longer a threat to what they
Right.
possess. So yeah, I'm getting far into the spiritual teaching right now, but
No, this is good.
it is truly for anyone who feels that they're called to ministry, I would say pray and seek wise counsel, because this thing is not for the faint of heart.
No, not at all.
Not at all. There's people attached to this. There are souls
Yes.
attached to this, if nothing else. But there's also leadership struggles and challenges that you have to
Yes.
walk through in this thing called the daily
Mhm.
in this thing called the pastorate. And so if you're not careful, you can become jaded.
Yes.
You can become like, I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to be bothered. All those things can happen if you're not careful. So I just encourage people to pray and seek wise counsel when it comes to discerning your call.
And I would even say with the growth of technology, ministry has also grown, and ministry opportunities has grown within that realm as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, churches need marketing people.
Yes.
Churches need graphic folks, people who can make appealing, who can make, and this is going to sound bad now, I'll clean it up here after this, but can make the church appealing.
Yes.
You need people who can take the story of a Sunday morning and share that with the world and market it in a way that people want to come to know Jesus through that church, want to come to know Jesus through that ministry, want to engage with that ministry. Therefore, that ministry can change their life and they can become who God wants them to be.
Right.
So I believe that ministry and the call is not always to the pulpit, but sometimes the call is to service.
Yes.
He doesn't call us all to the pulpit. He doesn't call some. He gave the gift of pastoring.
Right.
Some teachers. So in that aspect, some of it is marketplace ministry as well.
Yes.
Sometimes he's calling you to share your testimony.
Right.
At your place of work. Be an open and bold believer rather than a closeted Christian.
Yes.
So I just believe that technology has definitely expanded the ability and the reach of ministry, for sure, the call of the ministry.
Yes, and it's much different today than it was 20 years ago, even 10 years ago.
For sure.
I think you mentioned COVID-19 earlier in the pandemic. I think that required us to take technology in churches and in ministry to another level.
Absolutely. I actually started my business, Stay Royal Productions, in the midst of COVID because of that. Stay Royal Productions, we were doing live sound, live events, and editing church services for ministries.
Wow.
They wanted to create a better online presentation for their ministry. So what we would do is go and pre-record services. And we would record it with different video angles, sound, capture, all the things, mix it together, pull the service content together, and get it back to that church so that they could produce that for Sunday morning. Wow. They could share on their stream for Sunday morning this pre-recorded version of service that has their praise team actually sounding good, and their word is concise with various angles and different technology or different video content infused in it, so that on Sunday morning it was a valuable experience, an experience that people still wanted to engage in. Because at a certain point, people got behind the camera on Sunday morning, was just talking to the camera, and that was great.
Right.
But if people were missing something in that worship experience.
Absolutely.
So when you can pull things together in a way with the eye for ministry, with the eye for keeping God's word at the forefront, which was our primary focus, and that's why the company was called Stay Royal, because you wanted to keep it kingdom, wanted to keep it kingdom focused, so that in those things we can still present the word well for ministries and offer a service that we felt was a gap. So, yeah.
And please share with us your contact information,
Yeah.
how someone would be able to get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Do you still have that ministry going, or that
Yeah.
that
So
business
Stairwell
going?
Productions is still going strong. I'm on social media on all of them: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I didn't do the Threads thing; it's just a lot going on. Substack, all that's just a lot to manage. But Darius D. Darling on all of them. You can find me there, and I'll be glad to connect with you. LinkedIn, all the things. If you're interested in work and Brotherhood
Yes.
Mutual and things like that, I'll be glad to point you in the right direction. I tell everybody I can't guarantee you a job, but I can at least make sure that your name is in the system
Yeah.
for us to be able to look at. The ministry is still going. Stairwell Productions is still a thing. In fact, we've evolved a little bit, but still in that primary space. I'm working a lot with different artists now to help kind of cultivate their careers in music and ministry. I'm also while I'm thinking about it, also working with the youth development here in Fort Wayne by way of the Heather Headley Masterclass.
Yes.
I'm on the team to help facilitate that experience for our young people who desire to get into the music business in that capacity. So really excited about that. That's a great opportunity here in our community for all of our young high school students who are looking to go into music, performing arts, and fine arts in that capacity, singing and acting. We're doing a double threat, not the triple threat, but it's just singing and acting that we're working on in this master class. But the opportunity for it and for the students are endless through it.
What has it been like to work with Heather Headley?
It's been phenomenal. She's amazing to work with. She's so kind, so wonderful, and then the team around her is even oozes that as well.
Yes,
it's infectious. Her aura is just nice. She's kind. She's caring. She's very intentional, very intense. Because she sees the potential in our young people and wants to invest in them greatly. So I believe that this masterclass experience is one. We did it last year. We had 30 kids last year participate. 31 students participated last year, and this year we're looking at about a little bit smaller of a group, so about 20 to 25. And I'm just excited about what this means. She brings her vocal coach and acting coach from around the country to Fort Wayne to provide this opportunity for our young people, and I just think that it is absolutely phenomenal. It's a weekend that students are intense in their study and in their work, and then it all showcases on Sunday, and that's really amazing.
And when is the showcase?
The showcase is going to be October. It's the weekend, October 22nd through the 25th. Okay. So we'll start on that Friday, the 23rd and 24th will be the sessions, and then the 25th is the showcase. And their tickets will be sold. They'll be at the Pearl Street Arts Center, Pearl Street Arts Center downtown. That's where everything takes place. If you want tickets, you can go there and get those now. But I encourage everyone, if students are interested, they need to act now because applications close at the end of August.
Okay.
So we want to make sure we get those applications in and get them connected. But it's going to be a phenomenal opportunity.
In the 1 minute we have left,
yes, sir,
I would like for you to encourage our young people that may be out in podcast land, because as you just described, you're working with this master class with Heather Headley, but part of your ministry platform is youth and young adults.
Absolutely. For everyone who's out there who is struggling, who's dealing with the variety of things, this is a season for you to come out of the darkness and into the light. God is calling you out from hiding, calling you out from the place of being so passive to the space of now being assertive in who you are. He's already designed you for greatness. He designed you for the positive things that you shall experience, and God is doing a great work within you. So it's that season now to let that come, let that shine, let that be on the main street, on main focus. I truly believe God is calling us in this season to come out of darkness into the light. And for all those young people who are starting school now and all the things, I encourage you to stay focused, stay true to who you are, be authentic in every space that you walk in your calling. God blessed you with the gifts and the talents that you have. Walk in it. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Don't be sidelined because of what other people may think, but truly walk in what he's done and who he is already calling you to be.
Pastor Darius Darling.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Oh, man. Oh,
you know,
man.
all good things must come to an end,
Yeah.
but we will definitely have you back
Absolutely.
to talk about ministry, music, education,
Absolutely.
those new singles when they're ready for the world, talk
Yes,
about family.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we'll even have you and your wife come on and talk about what it means to be a young couple in today's society.
Absolutely.
So, you know, God bless you. God keep you and heaven smile upon you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. This is an honor and a privilege. And thank you and Bishop Crystal for thinking enough of me to bring me into space with you all.
Absolutely. And we'll have you back on again.
Sounds good.
Again, for everyone out there in podcast land, thank you for tuning in to The Future is Now. Remember, an investment in your future today is a profitable gain tomorrow. Take care and be blessed, and God be with you.